Good evening. Welcome to Estrategias Militares. We are live right now. March 23, 2026. Donald Trump announces negotiations with the Republic of Iran, and Iran denies it. Not only do they deny it, they say they will continue attacking each of the targets until they defeat the Great Satan. That's how things stand. Trump says there are chances of reaching an agreement and that the war could end, that there is a possibility the Strait of Hormuz could be opened. But we at Estrategias Militares have a different perspective. Family, your likes, your comments, let's get started. Good afternoon, family. Welcome to Estrategias Militares. Good morning. If you are there on the other side of the seas, across the seas, welcome to Estrategias Militares. We are live right now, one of the most important days. Maybe today is the day this channel's title, this channel's name, is exactly what's needed. Estrategias Militares. The war against Iran is a genuine geopolitical, military, and economic strategy. It's absolute madness. What we are seeing and what we are hearing in the last few hours leaves no doubt about what is happening, what is about to happen, what is about to occur in the Middle East region. Welcome to your channel and thank you for your trust. It's very important, even if you're watching the replay. Leave your subscribe to the channel. It doesn't do any harm. It's completely free and you help a lot so we can reach 500,000 people. I was saying and mentioning that the story we're seeing, what happened today, what's happening right now is remarkable. Donald Trump on the tarmac has announced ongoing negotiations with Iran on different points, different important topics for the future of the region. Donald Trump has announced talks and a postponement of that major attack that was going to happen tonight or tomorrow morning, which was going to send Iran back to the Stone Age. He was going to destroy all their energy infrastructure in a single attack, leaving the entire Iranian people with candles and sticks. That hasn't happened. The 48-hour ultimatum has been extended, the clock has been turned back, and 5 more days have been added. That's what Donald Trump is giving the Islamic Republic of Iran to think about if they want to be part of it. Do they want to be part of the civilized world, or do they want to be part of its past? That's what's happening right now. I know there are a lot of questions. I know there are a lot of stories still unfolding right now in all of this. I'm the first one who has them, and we're going to try not to give the full answer, but first lay out what the scenario is, what's happening, what could happen. In the short term, not even in the medium term, because going beyond the next 5 days is going too far. It would be predicting something that's all up in the air. It would be perhaps possibly making a mistake in an analysis that is one of the most complicated right now. The United States is at war. That's undeniable. From the very moment the first plane, weeks ago, took off from the United States of America heading to the Middle East, carrying logistical supplies to attack Iran. The United States is at war. Officially, operations began on February 28th. Today is March 23rd, almost a month since the war began. We're no longer talking about the 12-day war and are focusing on what's happening here. Who? Completely different scenarios. During the 12-day war, we saw attacks one after another, Attacks that left no doubt that Iran had significant power in launching ballistic missiles. In this war, we're seeing that this power is more limited, at least in the attacks against Israel. They can't launch waves, like they did on the first day, of 90 missiles at once. That doesn't happen anymore. Today, Israel has declared through Samir that the more than 400 launchers Iran had left have been reduced in number. and they would have around 150 launchers left. They still have the hidden ones, and obviously, because of the capabilities the Iranians have also been learning, it will be increasingly difficult to destroy them. A large part of the rest are buried underground because the entrances to the missile tunnels have been destroyed. They've been buried so they can't come out, but as soon as they clear the entrance and bring in heavy machinery, a couple of excavators will move the sand and rocks to get them out. So, it's not a long-term solution either, nor can it be said that the strategy to end Iran's ballistic missile program is working 100%. But we're not going to get into that detail yet. Let's look at what Donald Trump has said about this topic. Why are there statements? We already have some, even from Pezeshkian just a few minutes ago. And all of this is related to the situation happening right now in the Middle East, with that international economic crisis because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. All of that is creating enormous pressure in the markets. Now let's look at the current prices in real time. It's 7:09 in Israel. We're in Israel to tell the world what's happening. Please, your likes are super important, and let's see POTUS. Alright, what did POTUS say? I think this is extremely important and that we can see it. POTUS on the tarmac before a flight. Not even an official statement.
Official for the purpose they have, thank you.
Do you want to hand over the uranium?
For medical, for the purpose they have?
Thank you.
There are many questions he has asked. Many, I tell you, that there are a lot of questions that Donald Trump has answered. Thank you. Let's watch it. Let's see. Here it is. What does Iran want?
They want very much to make a deal we'd like.
They want to make a deal.
To make a deal, too.
We also want to make a deal.
We're going to get together today.
We're going to do it together today.
Probably by phone, because it's very hard.
Probably by phone.
Find a country. It's very hard for them to get out.
He says it's quite difficult for them to find a country to get out of there. Are they going to talk today? Are you saying they're going to talk today?
I guess, but we'll meet at some point very soon,
and very soon there will be a rally.
during a 5-day period, we'll see how that goes.
And we're going to give them a 5-day period to see how things go.
If it goes well, we're going to end up settling this other matter.
And if it goes well, this is going to end with good news.
Boys, we just keep bombing our little hearts out.
Let's listen to the last part again.
Yes, but we'll at some point very, very soon meet. We're doing a 5-day period. We'll see how that goes.
We're going to do a 5-day extension.
And if it goes well, we're going to end up settling this. Otherwise, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out.
He says these 5 days, if they don't work, if they don't go well, we're going to keep bombing them.
They want to be first.
First part. Donald Trump says that Iran wants a deal that the United States also wants, but at no point does he mention Israel. He says that the United States also does, but he doesn't mention Israel. He says they're going to talk today, and if things go well, they will meet. Soon, if things go well, they will meet soon. How soon? Which country would be chosen? Who would go to that meeting? Who are the interlocutors? Who will be on the other side to answer the call? Will it be Arahi? Will it be Pezeshkian? Will it be Galibas? Now we will talk about all of this. First part. Is there any intention on the part of the United States, any interest in ending the war, which is not a bad thing? Wars are not good and they don't help anyone. So, if we can avoid a war, all the better. If the regime complies with Donald Trump's terms, a war can be avoided. Guerrilla warfare, that's important, very important. But let's see. Let's see what conditions Donald Trump sets to end the war. Guerrilla warfare? The other day, Donald Trump said he didn't mind continuing to bomb them. We'd rather see right now, what the conditions are, and this is super important. Pay attention to this.
Which of these talks?
CNN's chest about Newsmax?
What are you looking for in these talks, Mr. President?
We're looking for all of the things that we've been talking about. We want to see no nuclear bomb, no.
We don't want to see nuclear bombs.
Nuclear weapon.
No nuclear weapons.
Not even close to it.
Not even close to it.
We want the missile issue kept low-key.
We want to downplay the missile issue so they keep a low profile, right?
Peace in the Middle East.
Peace in the Middle East.
We want the nuclear dust. We're gonna want that.
We want the nuclear dust. That is, it refers to uranium. They want the uranium.
They want it, and I think we'll get it.
And I think we're going to have it pretty soon.
We've agreed to that. Yeah, we're going to.
Let's add this. Let's see.
And I think we're going to get that. We've agreed to that. Yeah, we've agreed to that.
Let's agree to add this. We want the nuclear powder.
Nuclear uranium before you can end this.
And we don't want enrichment.
But we also want the rich enriched uranium.
And we want the enriched material, the powder.
Where?
The yellow cake. The one that can make 10 nuclear bombs.
If this happens.
If this happens...
It's a great start for Iran to build itself back.
It's a good start for Iran to rebuild itself.
And it's everything that we want.
And it's everything we want.
And it's also great for Israel, and it's great for...
It's also good for Israel.
For the other Middle Eastern countries.
And also for other countries. For Saudi Arabia, for the Emirates.
Qatar, all of them. Then Kuwait and Bahrain in particular, so...
Kuwait, Bahrain in particular.
It's great for all of them.
It's good for everyone.
All the president...
It's good for everyone. The regime change part has been erased from the list. It's gone. I want to see comments in the chat. Chat, I'm not going to do the analysis yet. I'm just laying out what's been said. Please, let's keep the chat respectful. Donald Trump isn't reading what we write. Do they not care much about what we say in chat? Be careful, there will be surprises. There are going to be surprises. Relax, there are going to be surprises. If you also want to ask questions, you can use super chats to ask questions here, all together. The other day, Donald Trump said, he said, city. We are not going to negotiate with someone who is destroyed. They have nothing to negotiate with. They are defeated. You don't negotiate with someone who is destroyed. Idea. Today, Donald Trump says that we have to negotiate on both sides.
All right.
This is going to get more and more interesting because the interview was, well, not the interview. The press conference on the tarmac was incredible. Let's see. Let's see. What are they saying around here?
Here!
If these talks go well and you reach...
If this goes well.
Ceasefire with Iran?
And a ceasefire has been added by Iran.
Do you believe Israel would abide by that agreement?
Do you think Israel will follow that agreement?
I think Israel will be very happy with it.
He says, I think Israel will be very happy.
Well,
With what we have, Isabel will be very happy with what we have. This is what Donald J. Trump is saying, that Isabel is going to agree with this deal that she is going to accept.
I spoke to Israel a little while ago.
He says, I spoke to Isabel a while ago.
I think they'll be very happy. This will be peace for Israel.
He says, I think they'll be happy, as this means peace for Israel.
Long-term peace.
For a long time.
Guaranteed peace.
Guaranteed.
If this happens, then...
If this happens...
Not certain, but I think so.
He says, I can't guarantee it, but I think so.
It's going to.
What's going to happen?
My life is a deal. That's all I do is deals my whole life.
It's the deal of my life. If this goes through, it's the deal of Donald J. Trump's life. Thank you. Let's keep going. And don't worry, there's a surprise at the end of all this.
And you reach. 1 second.
Next cut.
Mr. President.
Foreign Ministry says you're not...
Mr. President, the spokesperson of the parliament says that you are not telling the truth, that there are no negotiations. Who is saying this? Gary Buff seems to be the man controlling the negotiations and Iran's direction right now. He seems to be the strong man. It's not Mokshaba, it's not Peseskian, it's not Arashi, it's Gary Buff, the man who is in charge right now. Excuse me, we were here with Pedro's photo. We'll leave it here, Pedro. We're going to leave you there. And Pedro is, among the missiles, the first president of Spain to reach space aboard a ballistic missile from Iran with his photo printed on it. Printed. Stuck on, nice and tight. Thank you. Missile debris landed on a school in Samaria. The booster? Today on social media we've been told it's a lie, that the video is fake, that it's a disinformation campaign against the blessed president of Spain. Spain. And that we're just blowing smoke? Yeah. Thank you. We'll talk about that now. There's also the Spanish embassy. They've made their big statement. The Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs has also made its big statement. The Israeli embassy in Spain has made its statement as well. That's what I mean. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and some political figures. By the way, there's breaking news about the political situation of a Spanish institution in Israel. Careful, because this week there could be a real earthquake over what's going to happen in the blessed capital of the state of Israel, Jerusalem. I'll leave this here for everyone. Please pay attention. I'm leaving Peter's photo because I liked it, so you'll remember. Caridad says, because this is super vital. We have seen that Donald Trump made a statement where he said, there are negotiations underway. We are talking. How has Gallipad responded? Today, Calibaf, well, he's a guy who's always been there. He's a radical. He wants the destruction of Israel and the United States. He wants the death of the infidels. But it seems he's the only one there to listen. So it seems he says, Politani ex castigo complete, and for example, no, it's all the aggressors. This he says. All Iranian officials firmly support their supreme leader and their people until this goal is achieved. Second part. No negotiations have been held with the United States. And fake news is being used to manipulate the financial and oil markets, and to escape the quagmire in which the United States and Israel are trapped. Kalibaf says there are no negotiations, that this is a lie, and that it's a distraction for the financial markets. Price right now, barrel of crude oil. It's 7.23 in Israel, March 23, 2026, $97.36. With $36, it has dropped. There has been a decrease. The price per barrel has fallen from $108 to $97, an 8.40%. Has the market listened to Donald Trump more than to Iran? There must be a reason for it, right? What has Donald Trump said? Trump.
When it comes to productive conversations, family,
They're going to have to get themselves better, public relations people.
He asked the journalist.
the truth? What did I say? Thank you.
Ministry, since you're not telling.
Iran's minister has said that there are no negotiations, that he is not telling the truth.
When it comes to productive conversations, family, they're going to have to get themselves better, public relations people.
And Trump responds, well, they better find better communications or international relations people. They'd better find someone else.
We have had very, very strong talks.
We are having strong conversations. To see who leads it.
I would say almost all the points of the agreement.
He says, we're looking at all the points of the agreement.
Perhaps that hasn't been conveyed. The communication, as you know, has been blown to pieces, and
He says the communication was, we were negotiating all the points before the war, all the points of the agreement, but the negotiations blew up.
they were unable to talk to each other.
And they're not in a position to talk to each other.
But we've had very strong talks, Mr. Witkoff,
But Mr. Witkoff
and
and Kushner was talking with them.
I would say perfectly, I would say that
They went, I can say that with certainty.
if they carry through with that, it'll end that problem, that conflict, and I think it'll end it very, very substantially. We have very much in mind our partners in the Middle East. We've had great.
He says we also have our partners in the Middle East in mind. With that, he's saying that he wants a negotiation to end the bombings.
Relationships with a lot of them, as you know, a lot of them were surprisingly hit,
And he says some of them, surprisingly, have been hit. Imagine Qatar or MAM have been hit.
and I was surprised to see it, and so was everyone else, but we have that very much in mind in the discussions.
He says, but we keep them very much in mind in our conversations.
The discussions took place yesterday. They went into
The conversations took place yesterday.
yesterday evening.
Yesterday afternoon, late evening.
They really want to make a deal.
They want to make a deal.
We'd like to make a deal too.
And we want to do it too, as we said before. Make the deal. They talked yesterday. And today they were going to talk again.
Can I ask you, the Treasury lifted sanctions on Iranian oil that was out.
They are now asking him about having lifted the sanctions on Iranian oil. How is it possible that we are at war and the sanctions on Iranian oil are being lifted?
She criticized the president
She says, have you criticized President Obama for doing it?
for giving Iran $1.7 billion.
I just want to have as much oil in the system as
He says, I want to have as much oil in the system as possible.
and we don't even know if Iran gets that money, frankly.
He says, we don't know if Iran will collect the money.
I think it's very hard for them to get it.
And do you think it's pretty hard for them to get that money, the money from selling that oil?
You have ships that are out there that loaded up with oil.
He says, but look at the reality. We have a bunch of ships out there full of oil.
Rather than keep it there, I would.
He says he'd rather not have them there.
Rather.
That they go into the system.
Any small amount of money that Iran gets is not going to make any difference.
He says it's a small amount of money that Iran is going to get for those oil tankers. And it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change anything.
This war. But I want to have the system be lubricated, but
I'll have the system lubricated. I dislike the word, and we'll have the system lubricated. Maybe what Donald Trump is doing is clearing ships from the Strait of Hormuz. He was saying something that's coming to me through internal channels, breaking news. Pay attention to what's coming in. Tonight, Iran's Revolutionary Guard has scheduled special actions for some regional allies of the United States and Israel. This will completely end any hope of negotiation for the invaders. Tonight they say something is going to happen. I don't know. I really don't know anymore. First, because I'm going to lose this later. We should start writing down the points, because I think they're important. Donald Trump says there are a lot of ships in the Strait of Hormuz and that he wants to clear the strait. Remember that detail? Clear the strait. We'll see later what that's for as we go on.
they have thanked
You.
That means, yes, he wants to negotiate.
Control will be able to control the flood.
be jointly controlled.
Who is going to control the Strait of Hormuz?
Control of it will be able to control the flood.
Be jointly controlled.
It's going to be Both parties. By who? He says by whom? By who? Who will control the Strait of Hormuz?
Maybe me.
And maybe me.
Maybe me.
And yes, maybe me.
Me and the Ayatollah, whoever.
He says me and the Ayatollah, whoever the Ayatollah is.
The Ayatollah is whoever the next Ayatollah is.
Whoever the next Ayatollah is, he doesn't say Mokyaba. He says the next Ayatollah. He says, look.
And it'll also be a form of a very serious form of regime change. Now, in all fairness, everybody's been killed from.
He says, look, let's be honest about this. He says everyone has been eliminated in the regime.
The regime they're really starting off, there's automatically a regime change, but we're dealing with some people.
He says, isn't there really anyone to talk to right now? He says, but we're talking to serious people.
That I find to be very reasonable, very simple.
Which I think are quite reasonable.
Solid.
They're quite solid.
The people within know who they are. They're very...
The people there know who they are. They're respected.
And maybe one of them will be exactly what we're looking for.
And maybe one of them is what we're looking for.
Look at how well that's working out.
He says, look at how Venezuela is doing. Donald Trump is saying that he has candidates to be the Delcy Rodriguez of Iran. Candidates to be Delcy? Yes. Do you believe it? Don't you believe it? Do you think it's true? Do you think it's a lie? That is, Pahlavi's option is out. Pahlavi is Maria Corina Machado. She's okay. People like her. And so on and so forth. But she's not Donald Trump's first choice. Trump. Donald Trump wants someone from the regime who can be controlled. Someone who can be moved to the interests of the United States. Who could it be? It could be Pezeshkian. Who could it be? It could be Arachi. It could be Galibas. Who could it be? But he says there are several, that there are several. Are there additional statements from Donald J. Trump in this story? Statements from the commander, Admiral Cooper, also for the people of Iran. Well, it's just that 20,000 things are coming in right now. There has been an elimination by Israel of Navid Karishi, an Iranian missile engineer. It's just that 20,000 things are happening here. While we're doing the live broadcast, 20,300 things are happening that are amazing. I would say more than amazing, incredible. While we're talking right now, no more and no less. Thank you. Galibas, who is not a moderate, who really isn't. Could Galibas be behind all this? Could it be him? No, the strongman, no, right? It said that there has already been authorization from Israel for a flight, right? To Islamabad, to Pakistan, where the meetings could take place. We don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. We have statements from Ezeskiel. We have more statements from Donald Trump. Don't miss what we're about to see. Because, of course, things could be happening here. Many things. Things could be happening a lot. What was Galibab saying 3 weeks ago? What was he saying? What was he talking about? Well, this...
America's decline. What decline? My bad, Omri, my bad, Israel. What decline of Israel?
Thank you.
America's decline, my God, because...
Well, there you see what Galibab was saying. He said, in uniform, the Revolutionary Guard. Until that two countries should die, you already know which ones, the great Satan and the little Satan, the little Satans, that they should die. That's what he told them. Of course, we're watching this and we're saying, well, Donald Trump is crazy. The other day he wanted to win the war with total surrender. Now he doesn't want total surrender anymore. What is this? What's going on here? What's the catch? What's the story? Jerry Baines spoke this morning with Bibi. They had a phone conversation. The eliminations by Israel in Tehran continue. The stories keep coming. And a lot of things are happening here. A lot of things. I'm very serious about it. What has Cooper, the military chief of the operation, said? Be careful, because now you're about to go even crazier.
Cooper, we've had multiple messages that have come out that have said, beware, the government doesn't care about you. They're launching missiles and drones from populated areas. You need to stay inside for right now. Third, there will be a clear signal at some point, as the president has indicated, for you to be able to...
The commander tells the people of Iran to stay inside. Enter. They are launching missiles and drones from civilian areas. Stay inside your homes. Come out! And as the president has said, you must stay inside right now. At some point, there will be a clear signal, as the president indicated, so you can go out.
Continue to heed our advice. We've had multiple messages that have come out saying, beware, the government doesn't care about you. They're launching missiles and drones from populated areas.
Which means there's still the option of bringing the people out to the streets. The order still hasn't been given. The order hasn't been given. %100%. So that option is still there. That option is still there. 5 days. Days. What's going to happen in 5 days? What's going to happen in 5 days? Well, now you're going to see something else. Now is when the second part of this program begins. We already know what some people's positions are and others. Others? Officially, Iran says that it is not negotiating, that Tehran is scared to death because of what is happening. And that if it ends up launching the attack against Iran's critical infrastructure, the Gulf countries and Israel would be in the Stone Age, in the dark. That is, we all sacrifice ourselves, we destroy ourselves. Iran also had one of its generals out today saying, we have a weapon. That will change the war's course. And the last time someone said that in history, ended up in a bunker committing suicide. In the 1940s, Germany, Berlin. The man responsible for the death of millions of Jews said, when he already had troops surrounding Berlin, we have a weapon that will give us victory. Maybe we have reached the point where what we are experiencing is beneficial for the regime. If it continues to be attacked, bombed, and destroyed from the air. The regime will consider that there is no turning back, that this is the end of the whole story. And they will seek the arrival of Mahdi. That is the final war for this planet. They are willing, they are very willing, and we are seeing it. We shouldn't take away the credit for what they are doing. The Iranians know that every missile they launch is almost certain death, and they are doing it. And there are people who are still out on the streets. They're still out there. Look at this video. Are the arsenals still being destroyed? Yes, they are. They're still being destroyed. The attacks continue everywhere. The regime wants to keep fighting. No one has said they don't want to keep fighting. They are willing, they have nothing to lose. If they're going to lose everything, they have nothing to lose. You can't lose something you no longer have. If you lose control of the country, it's no longer yours, you don't have it anymore. So for them, it doesn't matter. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Strait of Hormuz conditions remain unchanged. Everything will remain the same. Nothing will change. There will be no changes. But Israel keeps bombing the bases. Israel keeps attacking those who have them, not the people. So Israel keeps believing in that line. Israel keeps thinking. Can we continue dreaming about the fall of the regime? Can we keep dreaming? Operations continue in Beirut. Operations continue in Tehran. Eliminations continue. Nothing has changed for Israel. Sal, the operation hasn't changed in Israel. Is it still the same now? What's happening? Pay attention to this video because I think it could be key. Let's hear what's going to be said here.
Good morning, Bill. And over the weekend, President Trump had given Iran a 48-hour deadline.
Over the weekend, President Trump gave a 48-hour ultimatum.
That was set to expire at 7:44 p.m. Eastern Time early tomorrow morning here in the region. After that True Social post that you just read,
he says that deadline was up at 7 in the evening.
President Trump is now extending the deadline by 5 days, possibly after the markets close.
He says, and now Donald Trump has given another 5-day deadline.
After he said he had good and positive discussions with the Iranians, now the Iranians,
so that it can be discussed and negotiated with the Iranians.
Denied that any.
The Iranians deny this, they deny this point.
Kind of discussions took place, but here in the UAE.
But here's where the key point comes in. But here in the United Arab Emirates,
it joined more than 20 nations that have signed on to help open the Strait of Hormuz.
There are more than 20 nations that have signed an agreement to open the Strait of Hormuz.
They condemned Iran's action and said they would be willing to contribute.
Will they be willing to contribute?
They did not list any specifics, but they want to get the Strait of Hormuz open. And over the weekend, U.S. forces did not get the weekend off. Bill. And now there are over 8,000 strikes hitting targets deeper now inside Iran.
The United States has attacked over 8,000 targets in Iran.
Iran, including destroying more of Iran's one-way attack drones.
And destroying attack drones?
Drones, though, Iran is still averaging over 60 drones and over 24 ballistic missile launches each day throughout countries in the region.
But Iran can still launch missiles and launches several missiles and drones each day at multiple countries.
More than 3 weeks into this war, and just a short time ago, as American and Israeli airstrikes continue.
Now you're going to see what he's going to say.
To do the air tasking order starting lineup in Lamus, Gerald R. Ford. She just arrived in Crete earlier today in the eastern Mediterranean.
The aircraft carrier, the Gerald Ford, has arrived in Crete today for repairs.
After a fire on board in the laundry room, she will be replaced by the USS George H.W.
So what?
Bush getting ready.
Is Bush going to replace him?
To set sail in the coming days from Norfolk, and the USS Tripoli Amphibious Ready Group should be arriving here in the Middle East in the coming days with over 2,000 Marines on board. And
in the coming days, the USS Tripoli with more than 2,000 Marines will arrive in the area.
An equal number in the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit aboard the USS Boxer should be.
And what about those on the USS Boxer?
Here in about a month after.
In a month.
Leaving San Diego in the past week. Now, there's also indications based on...
And now this is the key point. Are there any indications?
Plane spotters that elements...
People who are observing airplane movements. What elements?
Of the 82nd Airborne Division.
Of the 82nd Airborne Division.
Probably the Alert Brigade have arrived here in the region.
They have arrived in the Middle East.
Based on cargo flights from...
Cargo planes have been seen.
Fort Bragg, and likely also Fort Campbell, which is also home to elements of the 18th Airborne Corps.
From the base of the 82nd Airborne Division and from Fort Bragg.
Force 101st Airborne Division. Bill.
What does that mean? What does that mean? The United States has been conducting reconnaissance flights in the last 48 hours. In very specific locations in Iran. Let's open the map. Aerial reconnaissance is being carried out in very specific locations in Iran. The islands on this one greater thumb. On this island, aerial reconnaissance is being carried out. Examining every inch of the terrain, the one next to Lizard. Aerial reconnaissance is also being carried out, and the military capabilities of the island are being explored. Where are the bunkers? Where are the trenches? How many troops does Iran have deployed? And do we see that it is fortified? Next island. Farur, that island is also being closely watched. But is there a Siri? That, which is also fortified. And the island of Abu Musa as well. It's fortified and is being observed from the air. What does it mean that if the 82nd Airborne has arrived in the Middle East, Donald Trump, in approximately 5 or 7 days, it would have the capability to launch an airborne assault on the islands of Iran, even on the crown jewel, Karm Island. The war doesn't end, war is a strategy. And Donald Trump, he's one of the greats. The regime will never give up its uranium, they'll never shut down their missile program, and even if they signed an agreement, it would be a lie. They did it with the 2,000 kilometers missile range. When they already reached 4,000 kilometers, they did it with uranium enrichment. They did it with their intentions. They were buying time to build a nuclear weapon. And what if now they escape from what's happening? Will they end up building it? Maybe the big attack won't be against the infrastructure, but against the islands, these islands here. Here, only military presence. Military and workers. Of some kind? The islands could be assaulted if the United States returns these islands to the United Arab Emirates, because Abu Musa belongs to the Emirates, for example, and they have an open war with them over this issue. If the United States captures all these islands, it could have partial control of the Strait of Hormuz, it could have surveillance zones, it could prevent drones from being launched against ships and stop boats from leaving any of these islands to carry out attacks against ships. I repeat, the threat is not the anti-ship missiles, which require a radar that Iran no longer has. The threats are the small ships, the small boats that go out attacking. That's the real threat. That's the real danger. Face. There is an island that is also key, Larak. This one we see here. Here, up to now. Now, Iran is making every ship that crosses go through here, pass through the toll point. If it doesn't go through there and pay, it's a ship that gets set on fire. Taking this island could be key. It can be taken, yes. It can be controlled if attacks are avoided. Would it take 24 hours? Possibly, yes. Say, what does Donald Trump need for that? At least 5 days or a week. To take the next step. Attacking civilian infrastructure won't help him. On the contrary, it'll only backfire on him. With the Iranian population? That wouldn't be a very smart move if the entire gas field were destroyed. Gas from Iran, this one we see here? Here, the largest deposit of gas doesn't make sense. Ultimately, the population will pay the price. But nevertheless, with what's coming, Donald Trump is buying time with this, creating a fight within the regime, making them getting ready for the next step. If there was any intention to negotiate, they wouldn't be sending what they're sending and getting ready the way they are. There's also a warning sign we need to keep in mind if tonight we see more attacks from Iran against Israel or against allied countries. We are facing the reality that there will be no negotiation. It's impossible. But Trump has already hinted at it. We're open to negotiation with no issues. Look at the targets the United States has focused on. Air defense, naval forces, arsenals, missile and drone launchers, field artillery. Because at some point they want to deploy. We don't know whether it's Abu Musa or another of the islands, but the United States wants to deploy. Is there a real intention? Thank you.
We've annihilated their defense industry. Base, eliminating their navy.
We have destroyed their defense industry. We have eliminated their navy.
We had 158 ships are down. I said
158 ships sunk.
158, he says. Why didn't you capture the ship? He says, were they good or not?
They asked me why we didn't capture the ships, and I asked, are they good or not?
They were great, sir. So why didn't you capture them? We could have used them.
He says they're good. He says, why don't you capture them?
It's more fun to put them at the bottom of the sea.
He says it's more fun to sink them. I'll repeat the phrase from a few days ago. He's in Memphis right now, 11:46 in the morning.
Annihilated the defense.
Just 10 minutes ago, Donald Trump was in Memphis talking about Iran. This is about to get interesting. Israel, IOM, the Shin Bet, and the police foiled an alleged plot to assassinate the Minister of Security, Ben-Gvir. And they charged a 20-year-old suspect with having ties to jihadist elements abroad and planning a suicide attack. Did anyone want to attack Ben-Gvir? Memphis, Tennessee. There's Donald Trump. Trump urged the Senate leader to cancel the Easter recess, keep the lawmakers in Washington, and pass the bill to save the United States. Don't worry about Easter. Make this one for Jesus. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. Ice. Relax, everyone is available. For decades, Iran rejected every opportunity to give up its nuclear ambitions, subsidies. Their own negotiators boasted to our representatives about having enough material to make nuclear weapons. Fabrics. That was supposed to make me back down, but I didn't. It made me more anxious and just made it much more important when Iraqi shows up. In Switzerland. And he says, to Kushner and Witkoff, I have weapons for 10 nuclear weapons. I have uranium for 10 nuclear weapons. Trump got excited and said, this is where we stop. We have given them to push for an agreement, a 5-day deadline. I would say that the end of this period could be beneficial for everyone, as beneficial as if we had gone all the way. The end, and dragging past the place. Of the 5 days, I doubt it. I really doubt it. What has happened? Aside from this, we're not going to spend much more time on this topic because I think it's clear what has happened. Aside from this, we have a crisis. We have a huge international crisis with Spain right now. You can't imagine. There's been an attack in the United Kingdom against the Jewish community, a jihadist group associated with the Revolutionary Guard. Ashraf al-Jamin claimed responsibility for the attack on 4 ambulances belonging to the Jewish paramedic service in London. Here are the images of the terrorist attack. In the footage, we can see an incendiary device being placed on the vehicle. In an attack, group associated with the Revolutionary Guard. Remember, material damage can be recovered, but the loss of lives cannot. But this is just the beginning. After this, something worse could come. That's how things are going. And now let's move on to Spain. How are things between Israel and Spain? The Trains Minister, also known as Oscar Puente, to a news report from Europa Press, Israel warns that Iranian missiles can reach Berlin, Paris, or Rome. They are under direct threat with this range. Oscar Puente responds, "Are you the real threat?" Referring to Israel, Dale Merlitz, acting ambassador at the Israeli embassy in Spain, responds, "Who is the threat, minister? The country of accidents, the..." Who is the threat? The threat of the Iranian regime, a regime that attacks its neighbors, represses its own people, and develops nuclear weapons. And a regime that attacks its people, attacks its neighbors, represses, and develops nuclear weapons. The Trains Minister, responsible for the train infrastructure in Spain, who just a few days ago caused a real tragedy, where, according to investigators, there was a lack of maintenance and poor quality materials. Now he starts talking and saying that the Israelis are the threat. We're still going back to 38, 39? You Jews are a threat to Germany? You are the threat. The progressive government, the one that welcomes Iranian talent by printing the photo of its president on its missiles to attack civilians. Claims Israel, not Iran, is the threat. Iran has killed 40 people in the first weeks of January, hundreds of thousands over 47 years. that oppresses women like slaves, making temporary contracts to whitewash prostitution. But well, we're not going to be too surprised by that either. The Socialist Party are experts in that kind of business. We know them for that. The father-in-law of the Prime Minister is already president. And are any of the ministers who are regular clients? Nothing new for something that is very old, important. But Oscar Puente triggers yet another crisis. First, they removed the Spanish ambassador from Israel, leaving all Spaniards in Israel abandoned, without providing them any kind of consular assistance. For those who want to leave, the tourists who have wanted to leave and want to leave from here. Each person has had to fend for themselves to leave through different routes, without their government supporting them in any way, putting them in danger. When they could have sent planes to rescue them, they didn't do it. They didn't want to. But there's more. We have breaking news, and this is a big one. Really, really big. Pay attention to this. Because news is coming in, but first this topic, let's finish this first. Pay attention to the story. The member of the Knesset, Oral Likud, Dan and Jode, has submitted an urgent request to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Gideon Sa'ar, to order the immediate closure of the Spanish consulate in Jerusalem, arguing that the escalation of hostility by Madrid, combined with its refusal to cooperate with the United States in the campaign against Iran and its recognition of a Palestinian state, has created a historic window of opportunity to put an end to this diplomatic anomaly. According to the Israeli legislator, they can no longer tolerate the presence of a foreign representation in the heart of Jerusalem that acts in favor of a Palestinian entity and stifles the security interests of Israel and its allies. He is the same lawmaker behind a 2024 law that prohibits the reopening or opening of new foreign consulates in Jerusalem. He considers maintaining a Spanish consulate a reward for Madrid's diplomatic terrorism. And he calls on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to take advantage of the momentum from Operation Lion's Roar to create facts on the ground, stating that the sovereignty of Jerusalem is neither divisible nor negotiable, and whoever chooses the side of our enemies has no right to a diplomatic presence in our capital. Thank you. Oh my God. Oh my God. They have officially requested the closure of the Spanish consulate in Jerusalem. Honestly, for all they do, oh my God, you call and they don't know anything. They ask if you're recording, but they don't help you. They don't help you. No. Ahora mismo. There are reports. Channel 13. Iran is attacking American targets in Saudi Arabia, Oman and Iraq. Also missiles against Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Oman and Jordan. Iraq is also being attacked at this moment. Attacks. Right now we're going to look for videos. We confirm the attacks. There is no negotiation. Anti-aircraft weapons are firing right now in the skies of Baghdad. Trying to shoot down drone attacks right now as we speak. Is this the response? massive attacks right now. More videos. Well, there it is. They're laughing at Trump. Chisto. The thing is that it's convenient for Trump that for now, the story continues like this. While the group of Marines arrives, while the 82nd is ready. By the way, it was the first unit that entered Iraq in the Gulf War, the latter to kick out Saddam. They parachuted into the Kurdish area in Erbil, and it was the first deployment. They know what they're doing, they know the terrain, they know what it's like to fight against this enemy. They've been learning for years. So, with that, we could start to understand or know what's happening. Currently, the entire region is under attack, but I don't think any missiles have been launched at Israel yet. Let's wait and see. In the last few minutes, Iran is launching attacks against Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Oman, and Jordan. Surprising. Very surprising. This story right now is terrible. Isn't there, let's say, some way to try to get out of this situation, or some other option? There are no options. Only one option. The option is that the regime has to be destroyed. A regime that oppresses and ignores its people, both militarily and in competitiveness. Thank you. As long as they don't see military defeat, they won't change their stance even a centimeter. Not a... in compliance. Fulfilled what they said? They said they had surprises tonight. Well, they've launched drones and missiles. Nothing new. In that sense, they keep doing their thing. Based on the data I had, I kept thinking that maybe this would calm things down. Or Saudi Arabia, nothing to do with it, Tehran ends up getting attacked. It will be used for the coordination of the Revolutionary Guard Command, and the Air Defense Command. All of that has been attacked. We're live right now, family. A lot of people. Thank you so much. 27,000 people. We're missing a lot of likes and comments. March 23rd, 2026, 8:10 in Israel, 7:10 in Spain. We're live. Watching what's happening. That's right. Let's now look at images from Lebanon. What's happening over there? What's going on in Israel's other battlefield? What's the situation? What's going on with the ground operation? Different targets inside Beirut have been eliminated. And the Air Force continues to relentlessly attack Hezbollah positions. Let's watch a tank fire at a vehicle. We're going to see it approaching the security zone, possibly loaded with flammable material, and the tank decided to destroy it for safety. Wasn't that a mistake? And now you're going to see the video based on what we're talking about right now. One moment. Let's continue. Let's watch it. There we see the car, we see the vehicle approaching. The camera is following it. They open fire on the vehicle and the vehicle explodes. I've never seen vehicles that explode like that. And now they're going to say, did it get hit by a cannon shot? Little. Are they going to say the tank opened fire with ammunition and blew up the car? Well, dear friends from Israel, it's bad. Watch how before the car explodes, You can see dust on the ground from the machine gun that's firing warning shots. There you can see it. That's where the smoke rises. The car explodes because one of those rounds sets off what's inside. Ahí está. In fact, the explosion, the energy, goes upward, not to the side. In other words, the projectile doesn't direct the explosive energy toward the wall of the house. It sends it upward, which means the explosion comes from below and moves upward. Another piece of evidence is that the car was loaded and maybe it was going to crash into a tank, possibly. Beirut.
Oh my God, they hit me here. Tell me there's a balcony here. Oh my God.
The drones have remodeled the balcony here. Tell me. This building has also been remodeled. The war goes on just the same. The war goes on just the same. The only thing is that Israel is making progress. Israel has already started to advance. They are already opening a breach of more than 2 kilometers in some positions. I'm not going to give details, operational details, no, but because I can't, for now, we'll wait 24 hours. What I usually do is wait 24 hours to show the points where Israel was. Israel, 24 hours ago? No, where is it? Now? Where was it? 24 hours ago so as not to endanger anyone. Yes, I think it's the best way to do things and to be responsible with the information being conveyed. Yes, that's the way to do things. It's also true that what happens tonight may or may not give substance to the agreement. Smotrich, right now breaking news. Breaking news right now from Smotrich. The statements of Donald Trump that Trump is not coordinated with Israel or that he is abandoning it are false. Will we continue to attack the regime? Smotrich. The Revolutionary Guard, if necessary, Iran will use any capability to guarantee its security. They are talking about chemical weapons, bacteriological weapons, nuclear weapons. Iran came out saying that there were weapons that hadn't been taken out and were going to be taken out. There are chemical weapons on the ground. It could be. And that could change the whole story. A few hours ago, one of the army chiefs said they're going to bring out a weapon, I'll say it again, that they hadn't used until now. It could be propaganda or not, they have chemical weapons, because we know they have them. They have uranium to make dirty bombs, they have uranium to make a nuclear bomb, they have that too. And they could have a facility that's so deeply underground that they could assemble a nuclear bomb in a month. And we've been at it since the 28th with 24 days of war. Major General Adolagi, let's put his picture here so we can see who he is. Some are new, others are unknown, others were just hanging around. You have to keep in mind that the third line of succession has now become the first line. So that changes things a lot. It really changes the story. We can see it in the photograph. Ahí está. He says that the use of a new secret weapon will begin soon and will put an end to the enemy's operations. It could be. It could happen. Images of Isfahan right now. Israel or the United States striking the city of Isfahan we see. Ahí está. It's a missile site. What? What's being attacked there? Around Isfahan, there are hundreds. There are missile farms in Isfahan. Thank you. Missile farms buried underground. There are quite a few of those. Many. A lot. New declassified video by the United States. We have video of air operations. Let's watch it. Launcher. Let's see what this was. Let's go back. Control vehicle. Command and control. Anti-aircraft system. Another anti-aircraft system. These are anti-aircraft systems. This one looks like a double rail multiple launcher, double rail launcher. Thank you very much, family, for your super chat for supporting Estrategias Militares. Strategies. Thank you very much, really, about Donald Trump. Thank you. I think there is no negotiation. I think what's happening here is that there are no changes in the plans. The infantry and the Navy are arriving. Elements of the 82nd Airborne Division are arriving in the Middle East. They are preparing for an invasion. Somewhere in Iran, an operation that could range from recovering uranium to taking control points in the Strait of Hormuz or even taking Kar Island. The options are unlimited. Considering the capabilities they have, they are unlimited, so we are simply looking at a strategy. Just give them time to see what they are capable of doing and keep going. Keep moving forward with all of this. Moving forward without stopping. Family. Family, thank you so much for being live with us here. Here on Estrategias Militares, we're going straight to JR, quote unquote. We'll be back later to see the latest news, to see what has happened, how this is developing, this geostrategic earthquake today, and to study a bit about what is going to happen, what could occur. See you in the next program. Send greetings to JR, quote unquote.